Hi, everybody. Saying, well, what dark magic is this? You've started on time.
Dude, I'm still trying to get through the comments that came in before the show started.
I know Rogue had a good time chatting on their own, and then I
Hold on real quick.
Okay, go ahead. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Saber Rattle here on Kyber Cave Productions, your weekly interview and topic show.
To turn the fan off.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Hope you're well. I am Mezzo, and this is Arc.
Hello.
Hope you're all doing well. I'm guessing they went to the dark side. Rogue said, "Ooh, dark around me. I'm wearing a black shirt. I'm repping the zebra, but she's also got a unicorn."
Right.
Anyway, how are you this evening, sir?
I am good. I was trying to clean up the store. We had a really good day yesterday. We were out at Powerhouse Comics. Distance Nerding was out there, but we didn't get to hang out with them very much. Sith Cat was out there, of course. Of course, he's everywhere. In fact, I'm pretty sure that guy's a clone. I don't even know if, when I'm dealing with him, if I'm dealing with the original Kevin or the clone Kevin, because I don't know how that man ends up in all different parts of the country at once.
Hold on. That's crazy. Dran, hello, good evening. Say Wong said, Meta, how did you achieve this? I wiggled Van down to into my no.
Keeping me in check.
My goodness gracious. Yes. Well, I've been doing well. I had a show last night, not on here. It was a choir concert that I was in. And it went
How did that go?
It went very well. Hi, Michael Hernandez. How are you? We had a decent turnout, and it sounded so nice. The place we practice in is how do you explain it? It's acoustically kind of dead. And then we go into this place. It's a church, so it was kind of built for a choir, like a nice big church. And we sounded like we had twice the amount of people that we actually had. So, and it was really nice. My mom came, my husband came, several people, couple people I knew came, and so that was really, really nice.
What's up, Thomas?
To have, and it felt good. So, hi, Thomas.
Yes, I'm sorry I missed it earlier. We were so exhausted after con. We just barely got back before your show had started.
It's all good. We're having another one in the fall winter time. So, yeah, we'll get that back up and going. But it was well. But sir, there's something specific we're going to be talking about today. What do we do at this time? I'm trying to remember.
Nerdy news.
Yes, it is the nerdy news. And so, what is the nerdy news today? I will tell you what the nerdy news is today. First of all, Loki and Echo have been. Loki is coming out October 6th, which I'm very excited about, and it starts like the moment where they left off in season 1.
Right.
I'm very excited for that. Hi, Eric. How are you? And then November 20.
Not in the store. I was just watching Quantumania because I hadn't seen it in the theaters yet. So.
Okay.
Yes, that got me excited about Loki.
And then Echo comes out November 29th. And there's some concern because with Echo, they are dropping all of the episodes at once. And people are wondering, like, oh no, do they actually is it not what they had hoped for? So they're dumping everything at once, because a lot of the reason some shows are only sent out week by week is to kind of draw people back and whatnot, but they're dumping it all at once, hoping people will just watch it all at once. I don't know.
Right.
That's just an speculation on my part.
That's the first one that they've done like that. So I wonder if it's for a particular reason, or maybe they're just testing out to see which way does better.
Yeah, and I guess we'll find out. Vance said, I'm wondering, how are you all going to pull off After Dark on August 4th? Are you going to film it?
I got a crew, homie. Graveyard and Fours are going to be running the show that particular night. Metz is going to be getting in from the airports anyways, and I'm going to be at the park. So
I will be coming home from New Jersey that evening.
Yeah. So we are fortunate enough that, for better or worse, some of our crew is not here in California, but because of that, they are able to run some of our other shows. You've seen Graveyard and Fours run even this show when both of us on the weird time when both of us were.
You're right there. We see you, buddy. We see you, Graveyard.
I said graveyard too. Did I not say
He
graveyard?
did. He
Okay.
did. I think part of it. So, Van, if you didn't realize, the YouTube chat is always about 5 to 10 seconds behind us talking.
Man,
So
okay.
that's the main difference. It's actually earlier on a YouTube link than it is in StreamYard.
So. As far as filming at the park the night of the event, hey, Mike Berger, I'm going to have to see and figure out about that. This event is probably going to be one of the hugest events that we've had to coordinate. We are working with Sunshine Creation. In fact, we are the partners to Sunshine Creations. This event's been running for 10 years. Sunshine Creations has been running for 5 years, and there was another organization that started it for the first 5 years. So on, the 10th year, we are coming in. It seems like every 5 years they're adding another group. So we are coming in this time, and we are adding the free Comic-Con aspect to it, which Anthony and I both already know we are going to be getting a lot of people upset in California because of this. Think about it this way. When California, as you know, Mez, we can have anywhere from 2 to 4 cons a weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when all these cons are charging $10, $20, $30, $50, $90 to put on a convention, and we're putting on one for free, they're not going to be very happy about that. And we are going to have celebrities there, just like you would have at a different con. We're going to have all the vendors there. We're even going to have the huge saber battle at night, and we're going to have a specific saber battle that is for people that know what they're doing.
Yeah, like the expert ones.
Right, like the people from the Saber Legion, or like people that actually own their own saber armor. There's going to be a special battle specifically for those people.
I almost made a joke about my armor being just a comfortable body. All right, so moving on, guys. We have James Kaiser on our show. He is the producer behind the scenes for flow of the show, and every week he goes and he looks for some kind of visually mesmerizing artist and sends it to us in our show chat, and we get it ready here for the show. So please enjoy tonight's flow of the show, Alan Bond. Thank you, James Kaiser, for that.
Ooh. And that was probably the first fire spinner I've seen on our show that didn't have extremely long hair.
Yeah. I just got brought dinner. Orange chicken with white rice.
Wow.
I'm very excited.
I don't have anybody bringing me dinner.
Right? It looks very I've been I'm kind of on a journey. I started eating a lot better about a little over a week, just a week ago.
Wow.
Eating foods that you digest a little easier and less sugar and stuff. And so But every like 1 or 2 meals a week, I let myself splurge a little bit, and this is a little bit of a splurge. I've
This is
been
your
doing more
input.
like vegetables and protein, and this is not necessarily that. So
Ugh.
that was Are Your Friends. Woohoo!
I need to do that myself as well. Hey, before we get into our fantastic interview,
Mhm.
I would like to ask everybody, if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. Yeah, you would not believe how much just hitting that little like button does help the show. It helps us get into the algorithm. When you leave a comment, that also helps as well. So please like, subscribe, and share. We give away free
Mhm.
Saber every 100 subscribers, and I think we just gave a Saber away up last week for Mother's Day, and we're at like 10 or 12 right now. So we're constantly rolling, we're constantly
Mhm.
moving, and
We
we're on our
are
way to 1300.
we are 86 away from the next one. So
Woo! 86 away. So 86 more people, and we are giving away another Saber, folks.
yep,
And
yep.
you can help with that. Don't forget too that we also have a Patreon. For as
Mhm.
little as $1 a month, you can help this channel. We do shows 7 days a week, or up to our friendship level. At our friendship level, you could win yourself a one-of-a-kind custom design saber. We give away. We have free prizes at every single level and subscription rate. And lastly, don't forget about our Discord. I personally don't use it, but other people in our group I know love
Yes.
it.
If you want to join the Discord, you can check out the link tree in the description below. That actually has a link to everything related to us, whether it be the store, our TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all that jazz. And just check
There's a
that
lot of
there.
jazz.
And there's also
Ooh.
the KCP merch that will soon be available, guys.
I'm so excited. We do have.
I've actually ordered a few samples for myself to see.
I'm digging that
Uh,
backpack.
I ordered that to check. I ordered a backpack, a mug, and a T-shirt to kind of check the,
The
make sure it's good
quality.
quality and stuff before we give it to you guys for availability. But a lot of it is ready to go, and we just want to check the quality and stuff before we make it public, I guess you can say. And I'm
Woo-hoo!
very excited about it because I think it all looks really cool. I think it
Right.
looks really cool. A lot of it has that logo that you're currently seeing on the top right. There's going to be a
I know we had
water
talked
bottle,
about.
all this different stuff.
I don't know if well, we hadn't talked about this recently, but originally we had talked about making some KCP merchandise exclusive to Patreon members.
Okay.
Is that going to be this website in general is going to be open to everybody, right? Or
Yeah,
is it
but
going to
there
be like connected to our website, or how does that work?
you can connect it to a domain. But that's not what we want to do. What you probably do is just link the store on your store.
Link the store on what?
I can so we'll talk about that later. This is not everything. This is not what everyone in the comments watching right now needs to hear, the boring conversation of us
Oh,
talking about
okay.
everything.
I'm excited. I want to see
I'm
the new
excited
merch.
to get the merch out to everybody, and so people can represent us while they're out and about with their nerd friends. I like Graveyard, talk nerdy to me in Discord. Try to talk nerdy to me in Discord, or try to scare me. Yeah. Later, Arc. Later. All right, guys. Well, do you want to go ahead and introduce our wonderful guest?
Woohoo, ladies and gentlemen. The guest that we have coming on tonight, I've actually heard about for a while, but didn't start investigating until our store manager had gotten some work done from him. Our store manager, who you guys may have seen pop in on some of our streams, Steven, had a crystal installed into his Boone Kestis saber, and now like everywhere he goes, everybody loves that saber. I was like, man, we got to get him on here and find out
So
more.
Mr. Woodrome did that. Oh, because he
Yes,
takes just so our guests know, he takes that saber with him everywhere. Like
literally everywhere.
he's like, to me, you don't open carry. Oh.
So you know what's funny is when Steven first got here, I told him that a lot of our employees, it's not a requirement, but we just happen to open carry. We carry, right? We hip carry.
Mhm.
We have a hip saber. But none of us actually carried blades in our sabers. We actually just carried the saber. This guy walks around with the full 3-foot blade into
I know
restaurants
he
and
does.
everywhere he goes.
He does.
He's had a few people think it was a cane.
Say one, oh, your employee that won 2 sabers. Yes, his name was pulled, but he did not receive a saber. These are ones he purchased himself.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. He Yeah, we took away his one because he gets paid. That is correct. All right. So
That's right. So our guest tonight, Mr. Matthew Woodrome, is from a company called Exegol Outpost, and they do a little bit of everything. They're kind of a unique company. So I am very interested in speaking with Matthew. So with no further ado, here we go. Ow! What's going on, Mr. Matthew? How you doing tonight?
What's up, man? Nice to finally meet you.
It's good to have you on the show. How you doing? How have you been?
Man, I have been so busy this weekend.
Good busy or bad busy?
Well, it's not even, the funny thing is, it's not even Saber business related busy. It's just life busy. This weekend has been absolutely crazy. So I'm surviving. I'm hanging in there.
Well, I am excited that you are on with us and that you could take time to talk to us tonight. Why don't you, for a little bit of people that don't know what Exegol Outpost is, why don't you let people know what you do? Because, I will be honest with you. When I first knew about Exegol Outpost, I thought you were a Saber distributor, but I didn't know that you did installations. I believe you also do powder coating and etching as well, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
You're just like a one-stop shop.
That's kind of a good way to describe it. I initially just got into the Saber community and Saber business, doing that, being a distributor. But I was like thinking about, okay, well, how do we make it where we're not the same as every other company out there, right? So I was like, okay, well, we can start doing some custom stuff. So what are we going to do for customs? Well, let's do some installs.
Right.
You know what? Sabers need some powder coating sometimes. It really makes them look nice. Hey, what about a laser engraver? I could do some engraving and etching and all of that stuff. So I kind of just built it
Were these skills that you had prior to opening the shop, or things that you decided to learn in service of your shop?
They were skills that I have learned since I started the business. So
oh wow.
Yeah, I just picked them up, and as I looked at the market, and I thought about, okay, well, what would somebody want? Because here's the thing for me. I know you guys, Kyber Cave, you sell some of the same sabers that I do. And, my thing was, whenever I first got into purchasing sabers, before I even had considered, being a seller of sabers or a sabersmith, was right. I like to customize my own stuff. Right. So one of the first sabers that I ever got, actually bought from Crimson Dawn.
All right.
And, I customized it. I weathered it. I beat it up. I took a grinder to it and cut some slices out of it so I could, see the blade and parts that.
Right.
So I was like, okay, well, I figure people probably like to kind of get their own custom deal done. So that's why I started taking some of the base models and modifying them. And that's that's how we came up with this guy here. Oh, I guess it's not going to show up too well. So this is the Boom Kestis.
Yes.
So,
and in fact, it was one of your videos that my store manager, Steven, can you hold that up again real quick?
Yeah. Well.
He did the design like you have with the crystal in the hilt there. He had seen one of your advertisements or something, and he loved that. So he sent his saber into you to get that done.
Correct. Yeah. So, and I just had the wild idea when I was looking at mine, because I don't keep a ton of personal sabers, but the Boom Kestis was one that I really liked.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought, if I wasn't going to put a crystal up here somewhere in this part of it, up here,
right?
But this looks like a really good open space to put a crystal.
Right.
That's what I did.
Have you gotten a lot of orders for that design with the crystal in the hilt like that?
So Steven was the first. He was the first customer to order. I mean, literally, like I took a video of it. I posted the video, and within 10 minutes, I get a message from Steven. I need that like right now. He literally, from the time he messaged me, so I posted it, he messaged me. He had it in the mail on its way to me before the end of the day. So, yeah, I've had a few orders come in for customizations to add crystals like that. I mean, I also do, put crystal chambers in the switch section parts of the hilt and stuff like that.
Well, first off, do you have a 9-to-5 kind of a job, or is this all you do?
I do have a 9-to-5 kind of job, actually. Yep.
And is it something that would relate to what you're doing here? Like, is it something that has to do with soldering or wiring or?
Not even close.
Grocery store clerk.
I am an operations administrator, otherwise known as a house supervisor for a hospital. I'm a nurse. So
okay. So not a lot of crossover between that and Sabers, huh?
Not exactly. Yeah. I do open carry when I'm at work. So
nice. Yeah. Well, what do your patients think about that? I've got to think that, I don't know. If I was in a hospital, obviously people are not there for fun reasons.
Right.
But to be able to see somebody that's carrying a lightsaber, I'm sure that lightens a lot of people's spirits when they're not feeling good.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely a good conversation starter, and it's something that catches people's attention. I'm walking down the hallway and I've got this hanging from my belt. I took it out for right now, but I have a D-ring attachment here. There, and so this is hanging from my belt and swinging back and forth, and the crystal's lit up. And people are like, what was that? So it definitely opens the door for some good conversations. And of course, you have the original Star Wars came out in 1977, so you have a lot of people that see it and they're like, is that a lightsaber? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely it is. Let me tell you about it. So
Mezzo says it's a big business card.
Yeah, really, for sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
So now, okay, so the name of your company is Exegol Outpost, and we only as fans found out about Exegol in the Rise of Skywalker. So I'm guessing that is the time period that your business started.
Yes, I started the business actually in 2021, in the fall of 21. So I was looking for names for a business, and I'm like, okay, well, what do I call a saber business? And I'm like, okay, I like kind of going with the Outpost idea, but there's already a Padawan Outpost, and like, how do I, so long story short, there's a charity organization that I'm a part of where I play a Sith character. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I basically came up with the idea by combining my Sith character with the business, what was I going to name it? So my Sith character is basically he's an exile that was left behind on Exegol whenever the First Order collapsed. So a member of the Sith Eternal, if you will. So I thought, okay, if you're on this desolate planet with nothing but dirt and lightning, where are you going to get your stuff at? You got to have supplies, right? So I was like, well, there's bound to be an outpost there. There you go, Exegol Outpost.
So you're not a Star Wars fan at all.
Nah.
Doesn't sound that way. Yeah. So I really like this idea of the one-stop shopping, the ability to get my etching done, my installation work, buy my saber at the same spot. Do you find your business do you get a lot of people that want to go through all those whole steps, or would you say 50% of your business is just straight saber sales and 25% is etching and 25% is installations? How does your business kind of break down for you?
I would say right now it's about 75% straight saber sales. Now, mostly that's because I run the website, www.exegoloutpost.com. Plus I have an Etsy shop. So I get custom requests more often from Etsy, or just, like with Steven, just straight up from people on social media. They're like, hey, I want it for me.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it's about 25% customs right now. And I would like to grow that. Right. The thing is, again, I have a 9-to-5. So there's a limit to what I can take on as far as customs are concerned. So I really discovered that. I think the best example of that would have been around the Black Friday this year.
Right.
It was,
you get slammed with requests.
It was so crazy. I like I'm sure I'm still unburying myself from some random custom thing that somebody wanted, so and it, but it's good. It's a good thing. It's a
good problem to have.
Exactly. I'm not complaining by any means. It's a good problem to have. So
is it just you, or do you have a crew of people?
Dude, it is just me.
That's it. You don't even have a wife that, like, a lot of times when I meet, like, Crimson Dawn, Vire Sabers, a lot of Ripper Blades, a lot of these companies, it's a husband and wife team.
Yeah.
And you tend to see the wife is the one that deals with, like, the accounting and getting all the mails out and paying all the bills. And the husband is the one that gets to have fun putting together sabers and, playing out in the workshop. But this case is just you, huh?
So I do have a wife. She is we've been together since high school, actually.
Wow.
I'm 37 now. We have 3 kids, and they are basically 6 years old and under. So
oh wow,
she has
your hands full.
She has her own business to run, just keeping up with that. And with me, putting up with me being in the garage, in the shop trying to work on Saber stuff. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put that pressure on her. She just ain't.
What did she say when you told her you were going to open a lightsaber store?
Oh, she thought it was crazy.
As most sane people do.
Right. You're gonna do what? This is in the height of the COVID pandemic. So
right.
I'm like, I think I'm gonna open a Saber business, and she's like, I'm sorry, what are you saying?
It's so funny. I've had people say to me, like, is that all you sell? And I was like, believe me, brother, it's enough. Sure, I don't need to sell any robes or helmets or anything else. I got my hands full with just these sabers.
Dude, let me tell you, yeah. And I mean, I'm not even, just being that it's just me. I'm not even really in the con circuit, man. I'm online sales and custom commissions, so
right.
Just be busy enough just with that, and then also trying to raise 3 kids. So I stay busy for sure.
When you started Exegol, Albert, you said it was during pandemic, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you were starting it, was it because it was a hobby that you wanted to expand? Was there somebody, like a friend, that was like, hey, can you hook me up? I saw what you did with your saber. Can you hook me up? What was the thought process between taking this from a hobby into a real business?
Well, I think
especially during that time period.
Yeah. Yeah. Because even the cons then, like,
they were non-existent.
Yeah, attendance was down. I mean, I'm in Texas, and you're in California, so I'm sure for you guys, yeah, they probably didn't exist at all. Here, they still existed, but their attendance was definitely down.
Right.
But I think the main reason that I decided I wanted to start the business was because I had at the time I had a Ultra Saber. That was the first saber I'd ever got.
Right.
And of course, it didn't survive very long.
Right.
And that was, I modified it so that, tried to keep it alive for a while. But I had bought a Saber Trio saber. Nice. And then I came across Crimson Dawn. And when I came across Crimson Dawn, I noticed that Crimson Dawn had these sabers, and then there was another company that they looked like the same parts, and then there was another company that looked like they had the same parts, and I was like, okay. Right. But the one thing that I wasn't seeing was a lot of options for people to customize them. So, and I thought, okay, look, there's nothing wrong with buying a lower end, saber that is mass produced, right? Like,
right.
That's the majority of the sales that I sell, but
exactly.
At the same time, I wanted to be able to offer the chance for somebody who says, I really want to have something special and unique to me. So I was like, okay, well, how do we go about doing that? So I started looking around, and basically that's kind of how I got into it. I wanted to not only give people the opportunity to have something unique to them that was special to them,
right?
Also I wanted to not, I wanted it for it to not break the bank, So
right.
So my goal has always been to try to keep my prices as low as I can possibly go. Not because, I want to undercut everybody else and I want to, be the top dog in the most volume. It's really just, look, I know how much I love Star Wars and I've loved it since I was a kid.
Right.
And I just don't think that anybody should be excluded from being able to enjoy it the way that I do because of a price tag.
Right.
Exactly. And and there's nothing wrong with, having a completely custom saber done that costs you, $3,000. I would love to. I don't even own one of those. I would love.
Right.
But I would like for people to be able to enjoy Star Wars like I enjoy Star Wars. And what's better than having? I mean, what's better than this?
Nothing. You can't help but turn into a 7-year-old again when you pick that up and put one in your hand.
I may have to turn off the background here. There we go.
Oh,
so this is my custom one of my custom designs.
That's gorgeous.
If I can get it to show up. Okay, hold on. Can we stop the background here?
Oh no, the hidden helmet technology is gonna go away.
I know it's hold on one second. Let's go with none. That's better. All right. So this is the Consular's Creed. So this and on top of like building a business from scratch and never having done that before, I also picked up 3D printing, and because I picked up 3D printing, I had to pick up 3D modeling. And when I picked up 3D modeling, I was like, oh, okay, now I can actually create my own designs, right?
Wow. So you're doing your own chassis too?
Yeah. So I have a couple of chassis listed as STLs on my site, specifically for LGT hilts.
Mm-hmm.
So like we have one. This is actually the metal part, but I have a custom chassis for the Star Killer. And then one of the ones that I did that actually the people that ordered some of the first Consular's Creeds, the pre-order for these.
Right.
I designed a Profi chassis that has a crystal chamber in it, but it's a crate dragon pearl.
Oh.
So I'll be making a window right here for that crate dragon pearl chamber to be seen.
Right.
I got turned on to ring LEDs.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm sure Steven can tell you inside here, for example, I don't know. Let's see if I can get. I don't know if you'll be able to see. See if I can get you where you can kind of sort of see it. There you go.
Yeah, it looks like it's spinning.
At the bottom of that is a ring of LEDs. Uh-huh. It's 19 LEDs in a circle.
Right.
So
also it gives an illusion of like a moving chamber.
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh, that's cool.
It really. Let's see. I've got a couple of other. So it's got like this is a heartbeat.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
And then so with that Profi chassis with the crate dragon pearl, it's got the ring underneath it like this, right? And now it only works with Profi, at least so far as I have not attempted to dive off into the Golden Harvest board that deep. But with Profi, I can make this chamber behave independently from the blade. So the saber's off right now. This is just resting mode. But when I turn it on,
I see it from the hilts or the emitter too.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that is gorgeous.
And then it goes back to its idle mode, right? So there's a lot of different stuff you can do with it. Like that's another ring. I don't know if you can see it very well.
Yeah, I know Steven is so proud of his saber. Like we were joking because he literally carries it everywhere. We've been into restaurants late at night. I'm the damn business owner, and I don't even have my saber with me. But this guy's carrying a full saber, full blade, showing everybody your work.
Oh yeah, when I got turned on to those LED rings, it was like, oh, there's a whole world of possibilities that I could do with that. Like, so,
just that one little thing.
Yeah, I'm actually in the process of I collaborate a lot too. That's one of the things that I do is I collaborate with other businesses and sabersmiths to bring stuff to market and new ideas. And one of the things that I'm working on right now is the new Cal Kestis hilt. So the Survivor version. Did I bring it? I guess I didn't even bring it in here with me. But you know, it's got an actual pommel on the end of it with slits in it. Right. So LGT and TXQ, they've put like one LED down here with some diffusion foam inside of it, and it gives it a little bit of glow, right? And I'm like, nah, screw that. I want the 19 LED ring at the end of it down here so that it has character to it, you know. So here's a little example of some engraving.
Wow, I definitely want to send some work your direction.
This one is so hard to see on the computer, but it's almost like a loft wolf.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, like I'm all about, let's take the conventional saber and turn it on its head. Like, what could we do differently? I don't know if you had a chance to look at my site extensively, but there's one of the first things that I came out with in collaboration with Kyber Smith, which I don't even think he's in business anymore, to be honest with you. But he was mainly Etsy shop that did custom stuff. But we came up with the idea to put a crystal chamber right in a little portable piece. So I have crystal chambers that are about this big, about an inch and a half, and you take it, and it's got the blade side PCB on one side on the bottom, and then the hilt side PCB on the top. So you take that crystal chamber, you take your blade out, you drop the crystal chamber in between the blade and the core, and you seat the blade, tighten it up, and then the crystal chamber mimics the blade style. So, so if you don't have a saber that has a built-in crystal chamber, but you want one, all you got to do is have a window that you can see the crystal chamber there. And if you have a pixel saber and it works with TXQ pixel, like SN Pixel, Xeno Pixel, Golden Harvest, Profi, CFX, any of that.
Right.
So, yeah. So I mean, it's just a little piece you can buy and just drop in there, and there you go. There's your crystal chamber. If you didn't have the funds to have a custom crystal chamber added to your saber that's permanent, So plus it's portable. You can take it out of one saber and put it in another one. So
exactly. Yeah, I've been in the saber industry. June will be 5 years for me, and it has been absolutely amazing how fast things are changing. When I first got into sabers, like just over 4.5 years ago, NeoPixel was the hot new thing, right? But at that time, people were deathly afraid to fight with their NeoPixels. It was just, a show thing. Now the quality has gotten so much better. Yeah. We're up to what Profi, where we have the next Profi board out now, I think, right?
Yeah. If not, it's real soon. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't keep up with all the changes that are happening all the time.
Yeah, it's happening pretty fast.
There's a question for you here. Is that crystal chamber insert available for anyone right now, or is it in the works?
Is it available from anyone or for anyone?
For anyone. Like, can he buy it now, or is it something that's coming out later?
Oh no, yeah, it's available on the site. Okay. I even took the Crate Dragon Pearl version and modified that, because that's a core, right? That's a chassis. Right. That pearl on top of it. And I just took that section. I said, okay, I just want a portable Crate Dragon Pearl chamber. So you can have that.
Chop that off and put that over that way.
Yep.
Beautiful. Where do you get your ideas from? Is it just things that you're like, man, I would like to have this, and I bet somebody else would? Or is it that do you get your inspiration from your customers, or by watching the movies and trying to figure out how do I take that and make it, into the real world? Where's your inspiration come from?
Dude, honestly, it's kind of a combination of all those things. I am the kind of guy that if I have an idea and I set my mind to it, I'll figure out a way to do it, So, and that's not bragging on me. That's just my personality.
Right.
My wife would call that hard-headedness. Right?
I call it determination.
Yeah, exactly. That's not hard-headedness. That's tenacity. That's about it. But yeah, like for the crystal chamber idea, it was like, okay, how do you the portable crystal chamber? It's like, how do we get crystal chambers into an LGT saber or a TXQ saber and make it affordable,
right?
And then make it where if anybody wants to add it to their saber that they already have, that they can do that. I was like, well, that's it. You just make it portable, like
Right.
You make it a miniature blade, right? Which is basically what it is, So
right.
Got another question there. What's the favorite
Yeah.
saber? Oh, that's a tough one, man. I really like the Boon Kestis, this version, and I mean, call me crazy, but here's the funny thing. So, a lot of the crystal chambers that you have out there now, they have quartz crystals in them.
Right.
So if you don't know this, quartz is like one of the hardest materials known to man. It's very difficult to cut and shape, form. So if you have a crystal that doesn't quite fit where you need it to fit, you'll destroy like half your tools just to get it in there.
Right.
So I was like, okay, what can we use that's still a crystal but not like diamond hard,
Right.
So I came across gypsum, and I was like, okay, gypsum is a relatively soft crystal. It's easily shapeable. You can cut it, you can clean it up, make it look nice. And that's how we have this giant, like it's a huge crystal in there.
Yeah.
So
I had noticed on Stevens when he brought it, it's a bigger, fatter crystal. Usually you're used to seeing long, thin crystals.
Yeah.
But that crystal is very different.
Yeah, this one is a piece of gypsum that's in there. So, and I kind of like gypsum for the fact that the diffusion on it,
yeah,
is really good. So it just makes it really show up well. But I think if I had to pick a favorite custom saber, it's going to be between this one, the Boon Kestis, and there is one that I made. It's actually the intro video, that the Dragon Saber. So it's an LGT hilt that was originally like shiny, kind of a dark, almost dark, like grayish chrome.
Right.
And I had a customer that was like, okay, well, I want like a katana style, make it Sith, and I want these colors. And so I took it and kind of mixed up some of my own colors for the powder coating. So you have this like almost like a gunmetal gray that's got a little bit of a shine to it. And then it's got that darkish red. And then I took that and I used the laser engraver to engrave a big sweeping dragon across it. So yeah, that's one of my favorites. It's a pretty good saber too.
Is there a favorite step in the process for you? Like, if you had to do just one thing, would you prefer to be powder coating or etching or installing or R&D researching to come up with new things that people haven't come up with?
I would say probably the R&D section of it, coming up with new ideas. And that's just because etching is trying to etch
a monster.
trying to use a laser engraver on a circular surface with a rotary chuck. There's a whole lot that can go wrong.
Right.
So powder coating is the same way, especially if you're using more than one color. So it's a lot of work to get that stuff done right, and have it clean looking. But yeah, no, I mean, I really enjoy the new ideas. And so, back to one real quick, back to you asking about where do the ideas come from. So the idea for the Consular's Creed, right, which I don't know if you can see. Let's take a look at that. I don't know if I showed you.
It looks like that airbrush or something on it. Oh, I love it. Is that airbrush on there?
Yeah.
I love how that's cut into like as a window would be.
Yeah. So I had a customer. He said, "Hey, what would it take to make a saber that's kind of got like, like almost like cyberpunk style, a little more modern looking, but also be clean and have some nice angles on the emitters, and and I was like, well, let me see what I can come up with. So I just went to my 3D software and I started designing, and this is what I came up with. So I call it the Consular's Creed, right? Because one of my favorite Star Wars characters, Qui-Gon. Okay. And if you're in the like, I guess we'll call it the EU, it would be, he was called a Jedi Consular, right? So I'm like,
right.
Okay, cool. All right. I like that concept. What can I do with that? So in the Arabesh here, it says peace, patience. I don't know if you can see this: peace, patience, justice, and compassion, right? So
oh wow,
that's what it says down here. And I really like the idea of the emitter kind of being split like this.
Right.
And then for the end, it's almost like a in one turbine.
Yeah.
So that was how I came up with the design for that saber. And then this was the first custom saber that I designed. And I was like, all right. So it was when I first started the business. And I just finally kind of like really got the hang of the 3D modeling software. And I was like, okay, so it's just me. I started this business with like no funds. And we're going to need a lot of funds to be able to produce this. So
right.
I just put it up on the social media pages. And I was like, hey, if you like the design of this saber and you want to get it produced, I need some pre-orders. And I had almost, so the initial run of the pre-orders was going to be 30 for the first section, right? And I had almost half of those fill up within about a week.
Oh my God.
So, and I still have, thankfully, I still have some left from the initial first 30. And then there are going to be more that are being produced right now. So, this one was actually crowdfunded, and I really like that concept because I can design something. I think maybe for companies that are bigger, right, that are not just a solo like me,
right?
It's probably easier to take the risk to fund a new design and then just have it flop.
Right.
But I don't want to do that. So
now let me ask you, I of course I understand, the basic idea of crowdfunding, but how does that really work in relationship to the saber? So does that mean that they're doing a prepay and they get a saber? How did that work that?
Exactly. So I said, okay, here's the different versions of this saber that I'm going to have available, right? And that's the different electronics. So everything from empty to baselit to Xenopixel,
right,
Harvest, Profi. And then I went a step above that, and I said, if you want one of the Profi custom crystal chambers, you can pre-order that too. And so I had people just pre-order enough that I could fund the first run. So
wow.
Yeah, so those ordered, if they haven't received them already, I'm in the process of pumping out the last couple of Golden Harvests versions that need to go out, as well as working on doing the custom chassis, which I have to 3D print and install. So it takes a little bit of time, but
right.
So yeah, I was really, I guess the right word would be honored. For people to say, hey, I like that design. Let's do it. So
I was gonna say it's got to be a great feeling when I sell TXQ sabers. I love all my TXQ sabers, but I am now in the process, just like you were a while ago, of developing my own first exclusive Kyber Cave saber.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a scary feeling. Will people like it? Did I do a good job? Just because I like it doesn't mean everybody's going to like it.
Right.
How is that feeling for you to know that you finally got something that you envisioned in your head? I mean, how long has it been since the idea popped into your head?
Oh gosh. A little over a year now.
Right. Wow. Yeah. So it's been a year that this has been brewing and stewing in your head. How does it feel to hold it in your hand? And then on top of that, to know that there are other people who are willing to put down money for your idea.
God, dude, like I said, it's really humbling and just it's a good feeling, you know. It's like, okay, you know, of course everybody thinks their own ideas are great, right? But when you have other people that are like, hey, yeah, I can totally get behind that, you know, it really is like, okay, maybe I'm doing something right, you know. So
Right.
yeah, I have really enjoyed the process of getting through it and you know, actually having it to hold in hand. And real quick, so I don't know if you know, if you remember, I know it's shut down now, Blue Bulls Custom Saber Parts.
I'm not familiar personally.
Okay, but so one of the guys that worked with them, he's a sabersmith who just basically he takes LGT parts and does crazy stuff with it. He makes all kinds of cool stuff. He wanted, when he saw the prototype come out of the Consular's Creed, he said, okay, he sent me a message on Facebook. He said, listen, I need you to send me that prototype and I'm going to customize it for you. You know, like he's like, I know it's the one of one prototype, but I need you to make it. I'm going to work on it. So this is what he came up with. Okay. So this is his version, which has got like copper. It's got like copper leaf right here.
Yeah.
Right. And then he took the Arabesh and made it red. It's
right.
Enamel in there.
It's gorgeous.
And then on the bottom, he put leather. So it's got leather grips on the bottom of it. And then for the blade retention screw right here, he's got a diamond thumb screw.
Oh, nice.
I was like, yeah. So it's the one that I wear mostly on a daily basis right now. So I kind of swap them out, you know, depending on how I'm feeling that particular day. So
right. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous saber.
Yeah. So this is his name is Sen, S-E-N, Dorin, D-O-R-R-I-N. You want your LGT Saber custom? This is your guy.
This is the man talk to you. Yep. Based on this, do you think you're going to do it again? Do you think you're going to come up with more original concepts? Dude, based on your experience with this one?
I have about, I want to say it's 5 or 6. I have 5 or 6 custom Saber designs just waiting on funds. So what I wanted to do first was make sure that the Consular's Creed project was going to be successful, because, you know, like for me, right? For instance, I would prefer to do business with a company that I know is going to follow through, right? So I wanted people to see, look, this went from an idea to a saber you can now hold in your hand, and hey, I've got this idea also. Would you be interested in, you know, pre-ordering this one? And so we're just going
interestingly, I remember specifically that saber when it was kind of in the concept phase, and you were kind of gauging whether to see if people liked it or not. So I was very interested in watching that whole process play out.
Yeah, I met with a lot of resistance from the some of the other sabersmiths that were a little more well established in the community, because, you know, they were like, well, we've seen, you know, a dozen different people come and say, oh, we're gonna pre-order, you know, sign up for this pre-order for the saber, and then they just abscond with a bunch of people's money. And I'm like, no, that's not
right.
You know, that's not what's happening here. So if for some reason this saber doesn't get produced, you know, people are going to get their money back. That's you know, we're going to do the right thing. So.
Well, and that's an interesting thing. If you don't mind me asking you, I own a saber. I own a saber by a company called Vapod Armory, who is no longer in business. They made a saber called the Medieval, and as far as I know, there was only like 25 of these that left the factory, but like 150 people had pre-ordered on this saber, and only 25 made it out of the factory. And so because of that, I, you know, sometimes hear about resistance from people being like, oh, I'm, you know, if it's not like a big name company, I'm not going to buy because, you know, some of these smaller guys, they're shady or whatever. Do you ever get any of that, or do you have to deal with any of that from your customers, or?
You know, it's kind of, I think, fallen to the side at this point in time. But yeah, I mean, for a while there, when I was trying to just first kind of get started and get my feet off the ground, and this will be the end of this year, October will be my second full year in business.
Mm-hmm.
So I think at this point I've kind of become an established player, and I don't see too much of that anymore. Now, of course, you have your, random Facebook crackpot trolls who just want to say ugly comments just because they can,
Right.
So my general approach to those customers they're not even customers. That's the thing. 99.9% of the time, they're not even customers of mine. They have no idea.
That's true.
They have no idea what I do. They have no idea what my customer service reputation is.
Right.
So generally I'm just like, my response to them is usually, until you have actually worked with me and collaborated with me and purchased a Saber from me or had me do any custom work, you really don't have a valid opinion here. So,
right. I know as far as myself, when I first got into the Saber industry, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I was in the Saber industry for about 4 months until I had met somebody else who was a well-known person in the Saber industry.
Mm-hmm.
We decided to collaborate together and open a business. But when that didn't work out between the two of us, this guy threw so much shade at me. And because he was a well-established person in the industry, and I had just been in it 4 or 5 months, I was getting hate mail from people in other states that had never been in my store. And I didn't even know who these people are. But what I realized myself, because when all that was happening, I told my employees, I was like, look, don't say anything negative back. Answer any questions directly. Be polite and humble and honest. And I feel like over time, your reputation will outweigh anything anybody has to say about you. Yeah. If you've been in business for a year or two, you have enough people that you've done good business with that will come to your defense and say, no, dude, that's not who Matthew is. This guy does quality work. Yeah. I think your reputation, unfortunately, you do need a little bit of time to let people see that, though. They can't.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. And that's my goal is always to let my reputation be, let people find out what my reputation is from my customers, and, I am, I put it this way, from starting with nothing, right, to building a business almost 2 years later. I'm just happy to be mentioned in the same sentence as Crimson Dawn or Dark Wolf or Fire Sabers, so right. So hey, somebody mentions, hey, well, these guys are reputable vendors. I'm like, hey, good. I made that club, so
right.
Yeah.
Now we're going to get ready and close out here. I totally appreciate your time, but I want to ask you, what are your goals look like for the next few years? Is it your intention, if you were given the choice, and life worked out that way, would you quit your nursing job to do this full time, or is this something that you feel is better as kind of a part-time thing? Sometimes I hear, I talk to some people who, oh man, I started this off as a hobby and it was fun, but then when I quit my job and made it my full-time thing, it just became, overwhelming at times, because they never saw the outside of their house. You know what I mean? They were constantly putting together orders or talking to people on the phone, trying to get shipments right. And so they felt like they actually lost their normal life.
Yeah. Let me put it to you, because I could talk to you for an hour just about that subject. In regards to the state of the healthcare industry in this country right now, but that's another story.
I might need to bring you on as a guest on one of our other shows, because that's a big topic. We do a show on Friday called Kyber Cave After Dark, which is just talking about whatever's going on in culture and stuff like that. It's more of an adult themed show. We can curse on that show, and but health is something that, and the health industry is something that often comes up on our show.
So I've been in healthcare for let's see, about 13 years at this point. Well, no, more than that, because before I was a nurse, I was an EMT. So,
oh, I'm sorry, that's tough work.
So, if you counted that, I mean, if you counted all the experience put together, I mean, we're talking about 20 years in the healthcare field. And I would tell you that if I had an unknown rich relative that suddenly passed away and decided to bequeath me an inheritance, I would be retired from healthcare.
Right.
So my goal ultimately is, look, I love Star Wars. And as much as a fan community, we like to dog Disney on, wow, this show was trash or this movie was garbage, whatever.
Right.
Listen, I have my opinions about them, just like everybody else does. But as a whole, I love Star Wars, and I've always loved Star Wars since I was a kid, and I don't foresee that changing in any time in the future.
Right.
If that means I have to be an old crotchety grouch who talks about, the prequel movies were the best movies when I'm,
they'll be up to episode 25 by then.
That's fine. So be it. Whatever. That's fine. So yeah, I mean, if I could get to the point where, I could, have enough overhead to hire some employees and maybe get a shop, that I can work out of. That's not just my house.
Right.
I would love to do that. Have the freedom to be like, okay, I hired you to fulfill orders. You go fulfill orders. I'm going to sit at the computer over here and design new sabers, and you do that,
And that's why I have a shop manager. He takes care of managing everything, doing all the orders. My job is just to go to the cons and move the things.
Yeah. No, I
he brings them in, I get them out. That's how we work.
I would love that. Yeah, and just I love working with my hands. This guy, we didn't really talk about this guy right here, but this guy right here is a 3D print helmet that I didn't design this. Okay, this is a design that I got off of Etsy, but I mean, I 3D printed it. Sanded and primed and sanded and primed and sanded and primed and sanded and primed, and then I primed some more, and then I sanded it some more, and then I painted it, and then I put all the electronics and everything that are in here. So I don't know if it's all. Yeah, let's see if it's all holding together right now. But we got microphones in here, we got speakers, we've got helmet fans, all that good stuff, and even the visor. Did I say I sanded it? Yes, I did. The visor itself, I took. So a lot of people use it's like a really thin vinyl,
right, to
go in there. But the way that the curvature of this helmet is, it was really difficult to have that vinyl not fold up on you. So I was like, okay.
Is that Metroid, by the way?
It's not actually. This is actually B-Brox. He's a Mandalorian bounty hunter.
Ah, okay. I thought that was Samus.
I totally thought you said like beatboxing. Like
it almost B-Box. It's an extended universe, like Old Republic, I think, era. But just I needed a way to make the visor work, right? And vinyl wasn't cutting it. So I was like, okay, how do we do this? So I was like, okay, wait, what if we got? Because I wanted it to be red. I was like, what if we got some clear red acrylic and then, put it together that way.
Right.
So what I ended up doing was getting a square of acrylic that was 1/8 of an inch thick, and then cut out the general shape, and then used a heat gun to mold it into place. And then I put mirrored tint on the inside of it. So that's where the mirroring comes from, is the mirrored tint.
Oh, that's so cool. Somebody's asking you, can you put it on?
Yeah. I don't have the fan system hooked up right now, but it's not exactly hot in here. So I think we can do that. Hold on.
Is that a heavy piece? Well, no, you said it's printed, so shouldn't be too bad.
It's actually PET G, and it's got PET G and Bondo and and paint, so it's got some weight to it.
Oh yeah,
there you go.
Oh my god, that is gorgeous. How breathable is that?
On the inside, right on the ears, right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually those are microphones.
Oh, okay, so, nice.
Because when you have the helmet on, right, and if you know any guys that are in the 501st, right?
Yeah, you can never hear anything.
I'm actually building this helmet. It's part of my costume. You can see it in my pictures on social media. It's my Mandalorian costume to be a Mandalorian Merc member. But with the fans you've got going in here, you can't hear anything, right? So there's a little box you plug your earbuds into in here, and then the microphones are in stereo, so you can hear left and right, just like you were standing, without a helmet on. So it's pretty. And I just enjoy the techie side of that. Like, okay, how do we create something that's
all right? You know what? I have something here that I may need to send to you because I got started on it, but I don't have the technology or the brains to figure out how to finish it. Hold on, real quick.
Okay, cool. Yeah, for those
of
you,
we know he doesn't have the brains.
Of course, I tell people to always have their stuff ready, and then I'm not ready, right?
Right.
So I was doing the same thing. I have a resin mold.
Nice.
Mando helmet that we were doing here, but if you notice, the visor is a little bit wider. And what I'm doing is I got this. What do you call this? Baklava or not baklava? That's a fruit. Anyways, yeah, that's it. And I got this that I need to get painted. But the idea is I'm going to be Marvin the Mando. So it's Marvin the Martian crossover with Mandalorian. So I need to figure out a way to color this and paint it and get it on the top of this helmet without it looking like a brush.
We could definitely find a way to make that work.
Woohoo! I might have to ship that off to you.
Little 3D print designing and we can do. And actually, that's funny because this helmet. So I didn't have the whole costume finished for this past Halloween, right? So I was still working on it. It took me about 2 months to get it put all together, but where is it? Over here. Yeah. Right here. There's like a notch right here. Right. So when you put this helmet on, everything is obviously red. It's all red. So,
right.
Well, if you're going out with your kids on Halloween and you're wearing a red visor, you cannot see anything. It's too dark. So I was like, okay, we got a problem to solve. How are we going to solve it? Well, I found on Amazon, they have these little, they're LED lights that you plug into your USB and it lights the LED up. And the LEDs are super bright. And you can get a pack of them for like $10 on Amazon.
Wow.
And so I was like, okay, we're going to do something with that. So I went and I took that little USB and I wired it up positive and negative. I designed some little mounting brackets to put in here. So these notches. So I mounted it to these notches and then I ran a little battery pack down the back of my head where I could just flip a switch on and it would light up. So
wow.
It was really bright. Yeah. But we're talking about the Profi boards and everything. If you look on my social media, you'll see my Mando kit. It has a control box in the chest piece right here. And it's got a circle LED ring, and then it's got 2 LED strips that go up and down this way. I actually run all of that, all of the LEDs for all of this, and it's got sounds. I run it with a Profi board.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
That's so cool. I've seen people put like Profi boards in like their old school Star Wars toys and stuff like that. They'll put a Profi board in like TIE Fighter to get more realistic sounds and lights and such.
You put them in blasters and stuff too. Yeah. So anything it's pretty limitless for if you have the idea for it and you think you can work it out. So
right. Mike Berger over at the Jedi Council of America says there's another group you can join too. Hint, hint. He is the leader of Jedi Council of America, so they're always looking for cosplayers.
Gotcha.
I think
I've heard of you guys before, yeah.
And Rogue says we're not worthy. Hey, so Matthew, I got to thank you for your time. We ran well over the 40 minutes that I told you we were going to talk, but I'm just having so much fun talking to you that I just lost track of time.
Hey, no problem, man.
I want to thank you for coming on. I feel like I've learned a lot about Exegol Outpost, not just the company, but your processes. I'm so impressed with what you do, and hopefully this gets more people out here on the West Coast to hear about you and send some work your direction.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. I thank you for the opportunity to be on the show. Like you want to talk healthcare and at the Kyber Cave After Dark sometime. Send me an invite. I'll hop on.
Oh yeah, dude. We actually okay. So Kyber Cave After Dark is where we just talk about social topics, but we have another show as well called Hearts of Kyber that is specifically about mental and physical health.
Awesome.
We decided to start that because I started getting anxiety issues during the pandemic, and I was like, dude, it can't just be me. Like,
Dude,
I'm sure there's other people that are dealing with all kinds of mental issues. So we have that show as well. So I'm going to message you because I feel like there's a lot we can talk about.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
Matthew, thank you again. I appreciate you hanging out with us, and we're gonna definitely talk to you again in the future.
Cool, man. Thanks for having me on, Art. Appreciate
Have a good night.
Later.
Peace. So okay, first off, I know you're gonna kill me. So everybody in the audience right now, like I didn't want to finish that interview because I was like, dude, Mez is gonna kill me as soon as we get back. I kept messing.
So Van and I had this discussion before the show. Okay, so we can click on the comments, and you guys see your comments appear on screen. And even though like I'm supposed to be the one to click them, he just kept doing it when I first joined, so I just didn't do it anymore. So this evening before a stream, he said, during the interview, you do the comments, and then outside the interview, I'll do the comments. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
I'm sorry.
Guess what kept happening? He kept clicking the comments.
It just happened. I couldn't help it. I kept trying to tell myself no, but it didn't work.
I'm just in there like, he can see me, okay? And then, when you use StreamYard, which is what we use as a service to do our streams, you can, if you're off cam, the people running the stream, so Van and I are both admin on it, he can see me down below going
trying to use her force powers to choke me out through the computer. Yes. So if on there's a couple of times where you see a message pop up and then disappear and then pop up again and disappear.
Yeah, that's because we both click it one after the other. And I'm looking at him like, stop clicking the message. You told me to do it during the interview.
You know what's so funny? I was going to mention you on those comments on the intro and the outro. I don't know if you put the pictures on or if that's how the pictures were given to you, but I noticed a couple of the pictures were upside down. And it was one of those things where I was like, I only know it's upside down because I know about the angles in the saber. I wonder how many other people wouldn't have noticed it. There's this picture on the internet where it shows a TV dinner, and then the caption says, "I don't know how I know this, but somehow the peas are upside down." And when you look at the peas, you're like, they are upside down. But
I did not flip them or anything, so they would see it as that. But yes, Van Gogh. Arctic Solid. Stop clicking the comments during the interview.
I'm sorry. That was Matthew Woodrome of Exegol Outpost. Super fun interview. I apologize to any of you if this night is running a little bit long, but I was having a great time talking to him.
There was one thing I forgot to discuss.
What's that? Oh yeah, nerdy news.
The Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel is closing in September, guys. It was only open for like 18 months.
Yes.
And there's different speculations on the exact reasons why it's closing.
I can tell you the exact reason why. It's $6,000. That's why.
It's like $1,200 per person a day to stay there.
Yes.
For everything included. And it's just astronomical. And I could never, it's beautiful and I love the idea of it and it's great. But the majority of Americans are going to be middle class, and middle class now cannot afford anything like that.
Right.
So bye to all the middle class people to be able to ever enjoy that, I
don't even know if the middle class.
It made me a little, I got to admit, even Disney now, Disneyland and World and cost of all that, it's making me a little bitter because I pretty much feel like I'll never be able to ever go back.
Right. Well, and this could be a whole Kyber Cave After Dark discussion, and maybe it should be a Kyber Cave discussion after dark. But Disney got to a point where I can't remember exactly when it was, but I remember they specifically made the decision to jump up their prices, and nothing changed. Like they increased the prices, but the same amount of people were still trying to come through. So they kept increasing the prices on everything, and they got into a place where they just thought they were untouchable. They were like, there's going to be people that are going to pay this price, but who really? And even with the biggest Star Wars fan, even if I saved up to the amount of money to go to that Galactic cruise, I'm not going to go twice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been 6.5 years since I last went to Disney, and every year passes, and I just think I'm never going to get to go again. And that's I guess you could say it's very first world problem-esque, but it's been a place that I've had fond memories of in my heart, and I want to take my kids back again. But it is what it is. I know many people have not been to one or the other or both, and I'm very
I mean,
fortunate.
we're going to go together. We're going to get a crew and go down there together.
I am very fortunate to have gone to both.
Right.
But in a sense, you've gone and then you want to go back, and that's not fortunate because like it makes you don't have what you're missing in that sense.
Seriously,
All right,
Nez, put this down for a future topic for KCAD, Disneyland, and is the American Dream dead? Because that's something very, and we'll get off of this because that's not what this show is. But, I really feel like for one reason or another, Disneyland, especially when I was growing up, and keep in mind, I'm about to have a birthday this week, so I'm not young. But it was always built into the American Dream, right? To have a home, to go to Disneyland. And I specifically remember I took my son to Disneyland in 2020, literally a month before the pandemic. And part of the reason was my mom had just passed, but about a year and a half before that, I remember listening to my son, and he was playing video games with his friend online, and his friend was telling him how they were going to Disneyland. And my son said, he's like, I wish I could go to Disneyland, but we're too poor. You know what I mean? And it broke my heart. And I was like, oh my God, I got to figure out how to get this kid to Disneyland.
But it
was not easy. It's expensive.
Rogue, I appreciate that. That's very sweet. What's that Kyber Cave Family Disneyland Day? That sounds a Disneyland week would be nice. It's really cute because so for those who know me well and are a Facebook friend of mine, I have a video up of the last time we went. We had not, our youngest was only like a year and a half, 2 years old, so he was not really old enough to understand. He was like maybe 2.5. And our oldest was more like 5, 6-ish, and had started reading. And we got tickets to Disneyland, but didn't tell him. And he thought we went. He was not old enough to understand. Like Disney's near Aunt Barbara or anything like that. So we went to go see Aunt Barbara. Was her name, and we made homework for him that it was a word search. And it had words that he was familiar with, like mommy, daddy, puppy. That was a stuffed animal and stuff. And he circled them. And then at the bottom, we're filling the blanks for all the letters left over. And it said, we are going to Disneyland. And at the end, he goes, we got the money. Because the reason we hadn't gone before is because we didn't have enough money. So that was like the end of the video. Him going, we got enough money?
Makes it sound like you're crack dealers or something.
Just to know that my 6-year-old is thinking about that. He's 13 and a half now. So actually it's been like 7 years since we went.
Right.
But yeah, maybe one day. It is what it is. I'm more concerned now about like getting a new bed because my back kills me or something like that,
Right.
Or that kind of stuff.
Day-to-day
anyway,
survival.
all right, sorry. I poured out my heart about Disney and my child and surprised me. Moving on. Guys, on our show, Kevin Hogan. He is our producer of Comic-Con Adventures. And here in California, there's a convention 2 to 4 a week.
And I just saw him yesterday.
Yeah, he just saw him yesterday. He gives reports on those conventions. He also tells you about upcoming ones. So enjoy this segment from Kevin Hogan.
Hello, this is Kevin Hogan from Northern California with another episode of California Comic-Con Adventures. On the weekend of Sunday, May the 7th, 2023, the Sacramento Furry Group had a cosplay gathering at the Rancho Cordova Park there. It's a fun idea to have cosplay gatherings when there aren't a lot of Comic-Cons going on in your area there. That way you still get to have lots of fun there. We saw dozens and dozens of fursuiters at that event there. And that way you get to hang out with lots of local friends there, still show off the cool cosplays there, and get to have a great time there. On Saturday, May 13th, our friends over at Ohana Comic-Con went down to Central California for a Comic-Con in Manteca. Ohana Comic-Con, as you know, visits a different city every weekend, traveling up and down the state of California, sometimes having one or even two Comic-Cons the same weekend in different cities there. They usually have very economical events, sometimes with admission under even $10 there, and usually with areas with free parking like local moose and elks lodges there or veterans halls there. It's a great time when they come to cities near you there. You get to hang out with local friends there and see each other's cool cosplays there at their afternoon cosplay contest, usually around 2:30 in the afternoon or so there. You get to meet local artists there at their vendor halls there. And so whenever they come to a town near you, definitely recommend checking them out there and have a fun time. And for those of you looking forward to upcoming events, definitely looking forward to Saturday, May 27th, 2023 is going to be the Super Saturday Star Wars Edition event over in the Benicia City Park there. That way we're going to see lots of food, drinks, food trucks, live music, artists, handcrafted goods, lots of people in lots of Star Wars costumes walking around there, so that'll be fun to check out in Benicia. Also, on Saturday, May 27th in Sacramento is going to be the Sacramento Goblin Market. That's an event there where they have some vendors that don't sell things for money. They trade secrets and stories and things like that for arts and crafts there. So it's an interesting little thing going on there that weekend. Also, for all of you Ren Fair fans, there's some events going on there. Over in Anderson on the weekend of May 27th through the 28th is going to be the Shasta Renaissance and Fantasy Fair there, and up in Anderson. And also, for those of you in the Corona area, on Saturday, May 27th through June, is going to be the Corenberg Renaissance Festival starting up there. And also, for all of you fans in the San Jose area, on the weekend of May 26th to the 29th, is going to be Fanime over in the San Jose Convention Center there. Looking forward to that there. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the picks, and we'll see you out there at the next Comic-Con.
Woo!
Kevin's gonna kill me. I had the most horrible thought as I was watching that report. I was seeing all those furries out in the woods, and I was like, "Oh my god, what if there was hunters out there?" Yeah, they're gonna be shooting all the foxes and deers and goats.
Exegol, I'm pretty sure that they could tell the difference.
You think so? Because I'm pretty blind.
Michael is close enough to go to the Shasta Ren Fair. Well, go and enjoy and have fun.
Kyber Cave will be at that Benicia event next Saturday. We will be there with our Sabers. It said it was at First Street Park or something like that. And then the weekend after that, then that Sunday, we're going to be up at Toy Fusion. We're there the last Sunday of every month in Sacramento. But then the weekend after that, we're going to be at Pride in Vacaville with a booth. And I still got to talk to Anthony, because I believe Lodi Pride is the weekend after that out in Lodi. So we are all over the place.
All right. Well, thank you, Thank you, Kevin Hogan, for that report. I apparently cannot speak at all. All right,
Yes,
guys,
Matt
don't forget to
Mark,
check out our other shows during the week. Monday, we have Retro Alcove coming out, and tomorrow night, I believe it's Graveyard and we play Riven, which is a sequel to Mist. Tuesday at 5 p.m., we have Hearts of Kyber with Arctic Scala, and John, I think, is back.
John is back.
Yes,
and Aubrey.
Awesome. And Aubrey, so you got the three of them talking. We've got Robin, our sign language interpreter, who is always also on the show. Not always, but also on that show. And we may have found a topic for this week, but we'll nail it down for sure afterwards. We'll let you guys know about that when we schedule it. And then Wednesday, 10 a.m., gaming.
Woo-hoo!
With this lady right here. I'm not certain. Oh, yeah, more of the room probably. But we might change it up. Who knows? Thursday night, 8:15 p.m. We also have more gaming live stream that is with usually Force and Graveyard and friends. Kevin, unfortunately, my Jedi rope has been lost to the ages. Oh, that's so sad, Mike. So sad. And then Friday evenings, as Van has mentioned, we have After Dark at 8 p.m. Pacific, where we have our topical conversations of something heavy and light to chat about. Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific, is Saturday morning nerd out. Show up with your pajamas and a bowl of cereal, and let's talk about the nerdy stuff.
And I am still trying
fun.
to source that. My goal in life, I want a big bowl that says Saturday morning nerd out on the front with
like Kyber Cave.
I know I found the color changing spoons, but I want the whole damn big bowl to be color changing. I've only found small bowls, but that just doesn't
wants
work
the whole bowl.
I want the whole big plastic Tupperware bowl experience, just like when we were 7 years old, eating cereal on the carpet.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next week for our next Saber Rattle. I'm excited. School's getting out soon. I'm excited about that one too.
Woohoo! And then you know what next week is? Next week is episode 150
of
this show. This is 149? Oh no, it's not. Oh my god, I'm so off because last week was 143. I'm sorry. Never mind. I'll just shut up now.
Remember Van?
Please enjoy Talk of the Town.
Van missed it earlier, but when he stepped away to grab something real quick, and he said he didn't have the brains for something, and I popped on and said, "We all know Van doesn't have the brains for it," and I popped back off. He also can't do math.
Math is not my strength. I'm not one of those type
no,
of Asians.
No, you're good. Well, the font I use also kind of the 4s can look like a 9 if you aren't like specifically looking carefully. So, all right, guys, wait a second. Oh gosh, Talk of the Town's at the bottom. I freaked out for a second. I didn't move it up, so I'd be like easy to grab. All right, guys, enjoy your week. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate every single one of you. Enjoy Talk of the Town.
Peace.
Let me get some coffee.